If you think Kenya is only about safaris, lions, and endless grasslands, what you are about to discover may completely change the way you see this country. Picture yourself swimming in the Indian Ocean in the morning, standing beneath a snow-covered mountain near the equator at noon, and then sitting less than 70 feet from a lion before sunset time. In the heart of Nairobi, towering skyscrapers rise beside a national park filled with rhinos and giraffes. But Kenya is hiding even more unbelievable surprises. Time. Threes before we begin. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and tell us in the comments which country you are watching from. Now let's explore Kenya. Number 15. Kenya. 5 worlds within one border. Imagine a country where you can watch the sunrise in the warm waters of the Indian Ocean, eat lunch at the foot of a mountain covered in snow all year round, and then sit in complete silence about 65 feet from a lion before sunset. That is Kenya, a place where nature gathers many different worlds within a single border. Along the coast, long stretches of white sand meet the sea. In the Nairobi highlands, at an elevation of nearly 5,900 feet, the nights can feel as cool as San Francisco in October, while the Great Rift Valley cuts a massive scar across East Africa. To the north, Lake Turkana appears in the middle of a dry and rugged land, while the Maasai Mara opens into endless grasslands filled with wildlife. Mount Kenya rises more than 17,000 feet, making it the second highest mountain in Africa, with glaciers that still survive near the equator. But Kenya is not only about safaris and poverty, as many people still assume. Nairobi is known as the Silicon Savannah, attracting nearly $640 million in venture capital funding in 2024. M-Pesa handles more than 180 million transactions every day, and most Kenyans can speak 3 languages by the time they reach adulthood. And when they say, "Karibu," welcome, my home is also your home, they truly live by those words. Number 14. Kenyan women, quietly carrying the weight of the world. Leaving the snow-covered peaks behind, our journey now turns to the women who quietly keep Kenya moving forward. More than 42 ethnic groups share this land, and each community carries its own customs and traditions. In Maasai culture, one practice that surprises many visitors is that women build the family home with their own hands. Using mud, cow dung, ash, and wood, a woman creates an enkaji, the traditional home at the heart of community life. If the marriage ends, the husband leaves, while she remains in the house she built. Time. Threes. The colorful beadwork around their necks is far more than decoration. Each color carries a distinct meaning and may reveal a woman's marital status, her children, and her family's position within the community. Red represents courage, blue reflects the sky, and white symbolizes the purity of milk. On the running track, Kenyan women have also captured the world's attention. Faith Kipyegon has won 3 consecutive Olympic gold medals in the 1,500-meter event, while Brigid Kosgei set a women's marathon world record in Chicago in 2019. Times across many villages, the saying, "If a woman can carry water, she can carry the whole world," is more than a metaphor. It is something these women quietly prove every single day. Number 13. Nairobi, where lions walk beneath the skyscrapers. As night falls over Nairobi, the city does not slow down at all. Lights cover the streets, music spills out from the bars, and Westlands quickly becomes one of the liveliest places in Kenya's capital. Thursday nights here are playfully called Furahi Day, a blend of Friday and furaha, the Swahili word for happiness. By 10 o'clock at night, the atmosphere is already as energetic as many corners of Times Square. Afrobeat, amapiano, and jazz continue to fill the air until nearly 4 in the morning. On the streets, matatus stand out like moving works of art, covered with images of rappers, football stars, and speaker systems more powerful than those in many clubs. Boda motorcycle taxis weave through the traffic, carrying passengers, chickens, and sometimes even oversized items like refrigerators. And yet, Nairobi hides an even more unbelievable sight. Right within the city limits lies Nairobi National Park, stretching across about 45 square miles, where lions, rhinos, and giraffes move beneath the skyline of tall buildings. People here often say that Nairobi has two heartbeats. One comes from engines, and the other echoes through the sound of hooves. Both move day and night together, creating a capital unlike anywhere else in the world. Number 12. The small town that creates marathon legends. About 4 hours west of Nairobi, the paved road gradually disappears, giving way to red earth and the steady rhythm of footsteps moving through the early morning mist. This is Eton, a town located nearly 7,900 feet above sea level, home to about 42,000 people, and known around the world as the birthplace of long-distance champions. By 5 in the morning, Eton is already awake. There are no traffic lights or familiar coffee chains, only cooking smoke, cool air, and groups of runners quietly beginning their training. This small town is home to more than 1,000 professional athletes and has produced over 80 world champions. The Kalenjin people make up only about 12% of Kenya's population, yet they have won most of the country's Olympic medals in long-distance events. In 2019, Eliud Kipchoge became the first person to complete a marathon in under 2 hours. He was born about 19 miles from Eton and still lives a simple life in Kaptagat, where he grows avocados, carries water, and trains for 11 months each year. In Kenya, running is more than a sport. For many children, it was once how they traveled to school, grew up, and learned to believe they could go farther than any limit placed before them. Our journey still has many more destinations ahead. Subscribe and become part of this community of people who love to explore. Perhaps the next country will be the place you have always dreamed of visiting. Number 11. The flavors that bring every Kenyan family together. From apartments in Nairobi to remote Maasai villages, many Kenyan families still gather around different versions of the same familiar meal. The most common trio includes ugali, sukuma wiki, and nyama choma. Ugali is a thick cornmeal dish, usually shaped by hand and eaten with vegetables or meat. It does not have a strong flavor on its own, but it serves as an essential foundation of everyday meals. Alongside it, sukuma wiki consists of collard greens cooked with tomatoes and onions. Its name means stretch the week, because this simple dish helps many families reduce expenses while still enjoying a filling meal. Nyama choma is goat or beef slowly grilled over hot charcoal and is often served at weekend gatherings. For Kenyans, it is more than food. It is an opportunity for family and friends to sit together and share time. The meal is usually eaten with the right hand, because the left hand is considered inappropriate in many traditional situations. After the meal, a pot of hot chai made with black tea, milk, and sugar is brought out. Kenya is one of the world's leading exporters of black tea, so the cup of tea served in New York each morning may have begun on the green hills of Kericho. For the people here, food only gains its true meaning when it is shared. Number 10. The Great Migration. Africa's harshest journey of survival. From July to October each year, more than 1.5 million wildebeest, along with hundreds of thousands of zebras, cross the border between Kenya and Tanzania, forming a moving river of life that stretches all the way to the horizon. This is the Great Migration, one of the most spectacular wildlife events on the planet. As dawn spreads across the Maasai Mara, the grassland, covering about 583 square miles, slowly reveals lions, leopards, elephants, rhinos, and buffalo. Alongside the Big Five, cheetahs, giraffes, and hippos also live here. At the Mara River, thousands of wildebeest plunge into the water, where crocodiles are already waiting. Some make it to the other side, but many never finish the journey. Farther south in Amboseli, herds of elephants walk beneath the snow-covered peak of Kilimanjaro, creating one of the most iconic scenes in Africa. At Olpejeta, Najan and Fatu, the last two northern white rhinos left on Earth, are guarded day and night by armed rangers. Standing in the midst of that wilderness, you can feel clearly that life in Kenya is both majestic and fragile. Every sound of pounding hooves, every step of an elephant herd, and every breath of the last two rhinos reminds us that even the things that seem eternal can still disappear. Number 9. Nairobi, two worlds within one city. Behind the postcard-perfect scenery, Kenya still faces realities that cannot be ignored. In the heart of Nairobi lies Kibera, one of the largest informal settlements in Africa, where an estimated 200,000 to more than 1 million people live within an area of less than 1 square mile. It is more crowded than many parts of Manhattan, while only about 1 in 5 homes has reliable electricity, and toilets remain scarce. Just a few miles away is Karen, a quiet suburb filled with luxurious villas and golf courses. Two completely different worlds exist almost side by side. Since 2016, more than 500 Kenyan women have been killed by their partners or relatives, drawing national attention to a growing crisis of gender-based violence. But in January 2024, more than 10,000 people, most of them women, took to the streets in the country's largest protest against this violence. Later that same year, members of Generation Z led demonstrations against a controversial finance bill and forced the government to withdraw it. Kenya still has many unresolved problems, but women's voices are becoming stronger. More than 90% of its electricity comes from renewable sources, and coding classes in Kibera are opening a new path into the future for local children. Number 8. The Adumu dance and the life of the Maasai. Across the savannah, beneath scattered acacia trees, a Maasai man wearing a deep red shuka raises his hand to greet a stranger. His way of life remains closely connected to traditions that existed long before the modern world appeared. Within the community, a person's life is marked not only by birth dates, but also by age groups. Boys born during the same period grow up together, enter the Moran warrior stage side by side, and later become respected elders. That bond lasts for life, shaped by shared rituals, responsibilities, and experiences passed through generations. Time freeze. During weddings and coming-of-age ceremonies, Maasai men perform Adumu, the famous dance known for its powerful vertical jumps. They do not take a running start, they barely bend their knees, and the men who jump higher often attract more attention from young women. For the Maasai, cattle are far more than property. A single cow can represent savings, a wedding gift, and the reputation of a family. A young man may offer between 5 and 10 cows as a bride price time. Across that vast landscape, they still joke that modern life is only one possible choice. The sky is their roof, and the stars can still guide people home. Number 7. From Lake Turkana to Kenya's colorful festivals. In Kenya, people believe that no story should remain silent. It must be retold through music, color, and dance. Every year in the far north, 14 ethnic groups gather beside Lake Turkana for the Tobango Festival, a name meaning "welcome home" in the Turkana language. Around the fire, the Turkana, Samburu, El Molo, Rendille, Borana, Gabra, and other communities that once fought over water now sing, dance, and share the same space. The festival is not only a celebration, but also a symbol of reconciliation and peacetime. Along the coast, Lamu Island moves to a different rhythm. People have lived here continuously since the 14th century, and UNESCO has recognized it as a World Heritage Site. Visitors can watch dhow races and donkey races, admire henna art, attend Swahili poetry competitions, and hear the call to prayer echo through streets built from coral stone. Farther north in Baragoy, a camel race takes place in August, leading participants across the desert. Meanwhile, in Mombasa, the carnival fills the streets with music, traditional clothing, and the customs of more than 42 ethnic groups. Times and Threes Kenyans often joke that their country has more festivals than weekends. That may not be entirely true, but once you witness them, you will understand why the saying exists. Number 6. Kenyan Street, Food and Hospitality. As sunset falls over Nairobi, the authentic flavors of Kenya begin to spread from its crowded street corners. The food stalls here do not need printed menus, because the scent of hot charcoal and drifting smoke is enough to guide hungry visitors. At one stall, a vendor grills fresh corn and adds lime and chili, while nearby, lightly sweet mandazi flavored with cardamom are lowered into hot oil. At another stall, crispy samosas reflect the strong influence of Kenya's Indian community. Yet the most beloved drink remains traditional chai, made with black tea, milk, sugar, and sometimes fresh ginger. A cup costs only about 40 Kenyan shillings, equal to nearly 30 US cents, but its meaning is far greater than its price. Before any conversation begins, a host will often offer guests a hot cup of chai. In Kenya, the question, "Have you had chai?" can sometimes replace a simple greeting, because it carries both care and hospitality. Along the same street, you may also find ugali served with fried tilapia from Lake Victoria, or a nyama choma stall, where customers point to the piece of goat meat they want and wait as their dinner cooks over glowing charcoal. In Kenya, people do not simply sell food. Through every flavor, they invite you into their story. Number 5. The Great Rift Valley, the fracture reshaping Earth. Seen from space, a massive fracture would appear across the deep blue surface of our planet, stretching nearly 3,700 miles through East Africa. This is the Great Rift Valley, an extraordinary geological system that has made Kenya one of the clearest places on Earth to witness the planet changing. Beneath the red soil, two enormous tectonic plates continue to move slowly away from each other every day. The ground here is not still. It is shifting, breathing, and gradually opening into a new shape time. Threes. If this process continues for several tens of millions of years, a new ocean may eventually form and divide Africa into two separate landmasses. Yet the strange thing is that this fracture does not create only a sense of violence and destruction. It also nourishes Kenya, forming alkaline lakes covered in the pink color of millions of flamingos, volcanoes rising into the sky, and fertile valleys where many scientists believe the earliest chapters of human history began. From the high cliffs, the wind carries clouds across a valley so vast that the horizon seems to disappear. Standing there in silence, you realize that you are not simply looking at a beautiful landscape. You are standing before the pulse of the planet, watching time and molten heat quietly reshape the surface of Earth day after day. Number 4. Silicon Savannah, Africa's technology heart. Across Kenya's vast savanna, a completely different rhythm of life is accelerating every day. Nairobi is no longer known only for wildlife or roads covered in red dust. It now carries a new name, Silicon Savannah, a technology hub helping to shape the future of Africa. Behind the skyline of modern glass towers lies a fast-growing startup ecosystem where hundreds of millions of dollars in investment have poured in, and many global technology companies have opened offices. The city is steadily breaking away from the outdated image of a continent defined only by hardship. Here in Kenya, M-Pesa launched a mobile money revolution, allowing millions of people to send money, make payments, and run businesses using only a phone, whether they are in central Nairobi or a remote village. For the younger generation, computer code, new applications, and an entrepreneurial spirit are becoming ways to create their own jobs and connect with the world. In Silicon Savannah, young people do not sit and wait for the future to arrive. They build it with their own hands. As the sun sets, sounds from the nearby wilderness blend with the tapping of keyboards inside brightly lit offices, creating a Nairobi that is modern, bold, and filled with ambition. Number 3. Kenya, where a plastic bag could cost you dearly. Behind the untouched beauty of Kenya's forests, grasslands, and coastline lies a battle that few visitors ever see: the fight against plastic waste. Simply carrying one single-use plastic bag through an immigration checkpoint could mean unknowingly bringing an item considered illegal into this East African country. Since 2017, Kenya has enforced one of the strictest plastic bag bans in the world. Producing, selling, or using these bags can leave offenders facing fines of up to $40,000, or even a prison sentence of up to 4 years' time. 3Zs. These strict measures are not intended to make travel difficult. They are designed to stop plastic bags from entering rivers, becoming trapped across grasslands, washing onto beaches, or being swallowed by wildlife. Objects that seem small and harmless can remain in nature for many years, polluting the soil and threatening entire ecosystems. Through this law, Kenya sends a clear message: nature cannot be protected by public appeals alone. Time 3Zs. It requires strong laws, serious enforcement, and responsible behavior from both local people and visitors. When you visit Kenya, you do not only witness extraordinary wilderness, you also see how a country turns its love for nature into responsibility and meaningful action every single day. Number 2. Giraffe Manor. Breakfast with long-necked guests. Within the peaceful green grounds of Nairobi, a historic manor that seems to have stepped out of the previous century welcomes visitors with a breakfast experience found nowhere else. As you lift a cup of hot coffee beside an open window, a long neck slowly emerges from the forest outside. The unusual guest gently lowers its head through the window to accept a small treat from the table. This is Giraffe Manor, where rare Rothschild's giraffes are cared for in an environment that allows them to live close to people. This subspecies is known for its distinctive patches, which usually stop above the knees, leaving the lower legs pale and making them look as though they are wearing white socks. Behind the famous photographs and luxurious experience, however, lies a serious conservation program. The manor helps breed, protect, and restore the population of Rothschild's giraffes after they once came dangerously close to disappearing. In the early morning, the rustling of leaves blends with the animal's breathing just beside you. You can look into its gentle eyes and feel that nature is only a few inches away. In that moment, breakfast becomes more than a travel experience. It becomes a rare encounter between people and nature, where the distance from the wild is reduced by one soft and gentle touch of the head. Number 1. Kenya. A journey back to the origins of humanity. In the arid landscape of northern Kenya, Lake Turkana appears like a ribbon of blue-green jewels surrounded by sun-scorched desert. Its calm surface reflects the immense sky, but that beauty is only the beginning of the story. This region is also considered one of the most important places for tracing the origins of humanity. Beneath layers of red earth and stone that remained undisturbed for thousands of years, archaeologists discovered priceless evidence of human history. The most remarkable discovery is the nearly complete skeleton known as Turkana Boy, which dates back more than 1.5 million years, along with some of the oldest stone tools ever found. Every fragment of bone and every piece of stone feels like a surviving page from the past, revealing how our distant ancestors once lived, traveled, and adapted to this land. Standing beside the lake, listening to the wind move through ancient cliffs, and watching the water stretch toward the horizon, you may feel a connection that is almost impossible to describe. No matter which country you come from, which language you speak, or what color your skin may be, a journey to Turkana feels like returning to the shared opening chapter of humanity. From this harsh landscape, the earliest footsteps began a long journey that carried humans across the planet and ultimately shaped the world we know today. Some places amaze you for a moment, then slowly fade from memory. But Kenya is different. This country stays with you in the sound of hooves crossing the savannah, in the footsteps of runners moving through the early morning mist, and in the cup of tea offered to a stranger before any story begins. Behind the beauty of lions, snow-covered mountains, and tropical coastlines lies a nation still confronting inequality, protecting its traditions, and finding its way into the future through the strength of its people. Kenya is not perfect, but perhaps those very contrasts are what make it feel so real and unforgettable. If you ever have the chance to visit Kenya, what would you want to experience first? Share your answer in the comments, like this video, and subscribe to the channel as we continue exploring more extraordinary places around the world.